Hey YouTube, it's RageRock101 here, and I have an updated Dark World Drain deck profile for you guys. So last night before locals, I made some changes to this deck, and I wasn't too sure on how it would run. But I got first today at locals. I 2-0'd every one of my opponents, and I'm sure you guys are anxious to see how this deck works. So without further ado, let's begin. First off, we have the 3 Grapha. When he's discarded, you can pop opponent's card. You can easily bounce back a Dark World monster and special summon him. And he becomes a 3k beater with gates out. So something I like doing first turn is activating Foolish Burial, pitch to this guy, normal summon a Dark World monster, bounce him, special him, and then set all my back row shenanigans. So right off the bat, my opponent has to stare down a 27 beater, which is amazing. And Grapha's job is to slow roll your opponent and force him to waste resources. So first of all, I would probably discard Grapha, pop an opponent's card, bounce a Dark World, and then special summon him. And then if I attack, my opponent will probably activate Mirror Force or Deep Prison or something. So just like that, your opponent goes -1, which is amazing. Next we have 3 Snow, becomes a 2k beater with gates out, and it's basically the searcher of the deck. Next we have 3 Brow. This card is the main draw engine of the deck, and something I like doing is if I have gates and Snow and a discard outlet, I would activate the discard outlet, pitch Snow, search Brow, activate gates, remove Snow, pitch Brow, and then, draw into any outs I might need against my opponent. Just speeds through the deck, and having 3 is mandatory. Next we have 2 Beige. Becomes a 19 beater with gates out. It's a normal summonable, bounceable target for Grapha, and that's pretty much all it does. It just beats down monsters. Next we have the MVP of the deck, Doom Caliber Knight. Doom Cal is awesome because it becomes a 22 beater with gates out, and it doesn't conflict with Skill Drain at all, because Skill Drain has to negate a monster's resolving effect, and Doom Cal doesn't do that. When he tributes himself, the effect activates in Grave, so Skill Drain can't do shit against Doom Cal, and it put in a lot of work. It forces Veilers, Max C's, Tour Guides, just any effect on them. And he cannot be special summoned, so your opponent cannot abuse him, and after he's fulfilled his job on the field, he becomes a gate target. Next we have 2 Beast King. Because I run Skill Drain, may as well run this guy, right? When Skill Drain is active, he becomes a 3k beater, and even if you don't have Skill Drain, he becomes a 19 beater, which is still good because you can ram into Thunder Kings and kill them and etc. He's still a pretty high beater, and yeah. Next we have the spells. 3 Gates of the Dark World. If your opponent does not have outs like MST or Heavy or does Tornado or whatever against this, you will be abusing this card most of the time. I drew so much off this card, it's ridiculous. So it's a discard outlet, it allows you to draw, and it's just so amazing. Next we have 2 Dark World Dealings. It's an easy discard outlet, lets you draw, and that's pretty much it. Next we have 2 Pot of Duality. I took out the 2 trade-ins because they weren't consistent enough, and Pot of Duality really is. It makes the deck so much more fluid. It allows you to get any outs you might need, the discard outlets you might need, and just even if you can't special summon them because of Duality's effect, it doesn't really matter because the only monsters you will be specialing is Grapha, and that's pretty much it. You can activate this, grab Doom Cal or Beast King, and then right there you have a 19 beater. So this card is amazing. I only run 2 because 3 clogs too much, and 1, I don't draw it enough. So next we have 2 Drag Down to the Grave. It's amazing. It combos well with Mind Crush. Allows you to draw. It's a discard outlet, and it's always nice to have a peek at your opponent's hand, right? It pisses my opponents off, so it's really good. Next we have 2 MST. I took out the 2 Dark World Lightning for these because Dark World Lightnings, they clog in my hand. They're not a really good discard outlet because now I have the drag downs and I use gates more often. And MST is an easy 1-for-1, and I really don't like Lightning because it's not chainable like MST is. So next we have Card Destruction, Broken and Dark Worlds, Allure, Draw Power, and the staples: Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Book, and Foolish. Foolish is good because you can get Grapha in the grave really fast. Next we have the traps. 2 Bottomless. I might run Warning, it depends, because I don't like paying the life points. Because if you add the 2 warnings, that's 4,000 life points, coupled with the Skill Drain. So that's 6,000, and you will most definitely be taking hits in this deck. So you have to conserve as many life points as you can. So I like to run Bottomless instead of the warnings. Next we have the 2 skill drain. It does not affect any Dark World monster at all on the field, so this is amazing. It cripples most of the meta nowadays, and it's real good. Helps increase Barbarossa's attack to 3k, which is awesome. Next we have the 2 Mind Crush. It's a discard outlet. Because you run the drag downs, you can, discard your opponent's card. There's a lot of searching in the meta, like Stratos for heroes, E-Call, Snow for Dark Worlds, Sangan for plants, etc. So this is amazing. Of course you have the Dushoot to go with these, and I run 1 Dark Smog. I really don't like this card because sometimes I would draw a dead in like the first couple of turns when your opponent doesn't have any monsters in the grave, which is stupid. But it did work out for me today because it was a good discard outlet. I chained it to most of my opponents, like Monsterborn, Calls, etc. So this card has put in work, but I just don't like drawing it dead in like the first couple of turns. So that's pretty much my only criticism of this. And yeah, there's not really an extra deck, but I guess I can show you guys what I have so far. Like, I have like staple synchros like Formula, Armory Arm, TG Hyper Librarian, etc. But I don't run tuners. It's only if I'm Monster Reborn, one of my opponent's tuners, that I use these guys. But I do use sorry guys, let me get my cards. I do use these. Leviar, in the rare case I managed to get 2 Brows on the field to special stuff that I removed for Gates. Leviathan, because he's the beater. And I did get out Utopia a fair bit today because of the beiges. You can activate Dealings, Pitch, Beige, special him, and then normal summon like another Beige or Doomcowl or etc. and then overlay them into this guy. But I never really found myself using him that much because I didn't really need to stall. This deck is pretty much aggressive for the most part because you have the Barbarosses, you have the Doomcowls, you got the Beiges, you got the Grapha. So I mean, I didn't really need to stall. I wasn't that desperate. And even if I had to get rid of an opponent's monster, I'd probably like activate Gates and pitch Grapha and pop their monster. So that's that. But yeah, you don't really need an extra deck for this deck. Just saying. So that does it for my new updated deck profile, guys. I hope you like it. Rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and give this video a thumbs up. I really enjoyed this deck. I hope you guys did too. And until next time, guys, this is Regirock 101 signing out.